Hey, we're here. Hey, welcome to Face Group Presents Echoes of Divinity, Session 3. Uh, Scary. Who's got volume on? I can hear my own stream.
It'd probably be me, I guess.
No, it's
No, it was me.
Oh, okay.
Tammy!
I had it turned off, but it must have reloaded.
It's
somewhere in
okay.
there.
You know what? Anyone else in the stream, I would have been really upset. But because it's you, I'm okay with it. Hey, thanks so much for being here, everybody. And thanks for viewers' patience. This session was technically supposed to go ahead in September, but September was a bit crazy. So we're going to have two sessions this month. The first one being tonight, and the next one being on October 20. So how exciting! Before I shout out some wonderful sponsors of ours and friends in general, I need to shout out the players that we have here. One of which who isn't with us tonight, Chris Ito, is not going to be joining us tonight and is spending some well-deserved family time with his daughter. So we love you, Chris. We'll see you next session. But let's meet our other players again, starting with the other Chris. Who are you? What do you do? Who are you playing tonight?
Good evening. I am Chris, or possibly Chris, not the other Chris, but this Chris. Tonight I'll be playing Marcus Brody, the wonderful Bard of Whispers. That's it. Thanks, Emily. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Chris. Or D20, as you're known everywhere online in every circumstance, particularly being banned. Hey, who's next? Benjamin.
Hey, that's me. Yeah, my name is Benjamin. I am playing Salt Sweet. I am an artificer. That's about it. That's as much as I got.
Where are you from? Where do we know you from?
Oh, right, yeah, Face Grip. Sorry, I play the Face Grip crew every Tuesday.
Wait, are you still playing Baldur's Gate right now? What's going on? It's World of Warcraft.
Nah, he's checking the Broncos score.
Oh, I see. He's doing a sport.
Yes, I do support the Broncos.
Good. Fuck the Panthers. Anyway, moving on. Tammy.
Yes, my name is Tammy. I will be playing Scarlet, and I'm not really on anywhere else at the moment.
Yet.
I don't know. You did a cool thing today.
Yeah, you did.
So this morning I was on the Arc Twitch stream and playing the first session of a wonderful vampire game that was run by Nephthys Nile. It is going to be uploaded to YouTube, Arc's YouTube, for people who want to watch it later, and is being shown on a streaming video down in Melbourne Games Week. If people are down there, they'll be able to watch it there as well.
That was just the sound of a cat doing something mischievous. Last but certainly not least, the real vampire here. Who are you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Promethean. I'm literally the least because there's a 0 in it. I tonight will be Velendar, the drow rogue, getting up to no good, making mischief, and hopefully killing everything that we see in sight.
Oh gosh, okay. I didn't realize that's the type of campaign you wanted to play, but now I know.
I'm in a murderous mood.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, hopefully I can give that to you tonight.
Can I just hit the save button now, Emily, before we start playing this game, so we can just rewind to this bit?
So save scum this.
Yeah, we will save scum this. And I'll just have to rewind to the start of this session 3 or 4 times before we get the desired outcome, which wouldn't surprise me with all of you chaos gremlins. Definitely last and least is myself. My name is Emily. Tonight I will be the person pretending to be a dungeon master. But you can usually find me here playing Luna Tarot on Tuesdays or gaming on Baldur's Gate 3 or over on the OzQuest channel for Sword of the Skulls. Don't jump, please. Where I play Maluhia, which is a lot of fun. There's a couple of other people that we need to shout out tonight. One of those is Ravens Ridge Emporium, which are very good friends of the stream, local business that create everything from dyes to preserved bugs and insects, also different artwork, potion bottles, and are developing their own game as well that was all funded on Kickstarter, which is pretty unbelievable. We also need to shout out. We need to shout out Ardent Roleplay, long-term partners of the stream, and Last Hold Games, who essentially take scans of your faces and turn them into minis, which is pretty out of this world if you've ever wanted to see yourself as a mini before. Oh my God. Did anyone else just see that? Did that just happen on the stream?
We saw some interesting camera movement.
Are you okay? Do you need me to get anything?
Yeah, could you grab paper towel, please?
Do you still have all of your limbs?
Yeah, let's just reload. I told you to hit the save button before we started this, Emily. Now you can just reload and know that's going to happen.
I'd like to thank my cat for spilling my beverage everywhere. Wow, this went well. Beautiful. But yeah, that's everyone we kind of need to shout out. After I get this cleaned up, we will immediately do a recap. But I'm just gonna play the let's stall the stream game while that happens. La 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 la.
Hey, so what's happening next week?
Hey, that's actually technically this week because Sunday is technically the start of a week. Am I wrong?
I have never agreed with that concept ever. It's the weekend, not the week end and also start.
No, all good. Thank you. Hey, I'm going to be heading down to PAX to see all of you wonderful people.
Which must mean that we're heading to PAX as well.
Which means you guys are all heading to PAX. It also means that there's some really cool shit happening down in Melbourne. One of which is Kate O'Sullivan is doing a show for Fringe. All the best roles are written for men, which I'm very excited to see. We're also going to be, Promethean and myself, are going to be a part of a panel called Crit or Kiss, the Monster Manual, which is going to be just, someone described it as a bunch of horny bards talking about monsters, which is not inaccurate, but that one's all curated by Kate as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really keen.
It is going to be fun.
Anyway, stalling complete.
Well done.
Let's recap. So last session, after you guys made your way to the castle, you met with the handmaiden to the Queen, Rayella. You indulged in a drink and snooped the shelves of her books. You answered all of her questions about your lives, your families, or as much as you wanted to let on. And thanks to her interrogation, you all learned that you were from completely different corners of the world, some with fonder memories of their upbringing than others. You also learned that Rayella herself was actually in line for the throne of Agora. However, circumstances unknown, her sister Rhaena took the throne instead. The first time in years that royalty had ever potentially been challenged. You were then tasked with traveling across to Maluhia through the mountain pass of Kaivalya in search of the supplier for the Thornberry. Thank you for all the Nigel Thornberry jokes. An ingredient that's begun booming in Maluhia as a popular ingredient to some wines, said to hold a hallucinogenic property and induced vivid dreams that have been rumoured to potentially be prophetic in nature. However, this adventure was under no circumstances to tie you back to Rayella or the crown in general. In return for information about the Thornberry, Rayella has offered you 1,000 gold, a bracelet of her own belonging, and the promise to spread the word of Vigman's Seven Cats Bakery in the next paper of Agora. Nigel, as you dubbed him, provided Harriet the horse, a cart curated by Scarlet, and a bottle of whiskey against her will. Thank you, Sol. You hit the road together, not without bumps along the way, thanks to Marcus's navigational skills. And as night fell, Velendar and Scarlet took first watch, testing the effects of a newly acquired fruit from the trees of the castle on a set of wild rats. You shared discussions of your past and upbringings before you came to rest, Velendar shaken by a couple of nightmares. As second watch commenced with Marcus and Sol, Marcus spotted the outline of something in the distance, mumbling something under their breath. With Marcus calling out to them, they let out a scream, which awakened you all from your slumber. And that's where we left off. So until now, for most of you, the air has been very quiet and still. It's temperate. It's not as cold as you would picture the nights of this time of the year being. This ember has been quite a lot warmer than the previous embers that have passed. And as the sounds of this creature letting out a loud scream echo through the air, you all jolt awake. It almost comes off to your right, and you can all hear that from that distance. Marcus, you specifically can still see the faint silhouette of this thing that you had heard only mumbling moments ago. What are you all doing?
Velendar, I think, will wake up, just do like a badass roll out of bed and come up with like 2 knives in hand, kind of ready to go. Because he's already had a bit of his meditation. He's feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
but
great.
He'll cast dancing lights in the direction of the sound then.
Okay.
And just try and light up the area, see what's over there.
Cool. Question for you. Would you have removed your armor before sleeping?
Yeah.
Are you taking the time to put this back on?
No.
Okay, great.
It's not nice time. He can kill stuff. He can kill stuff in his PJs.
Okay, perfect. I'd love to
Good
see
idea
that
for
in
the
some
PJs.
form of
The PJs look
yeah, some form of art. That would be just
Yeah.
the bloody best.
It'll be like a black silk kimono type thing.
Yeah.
Is what we're working with.
What are the rest of you doing?
So me and Marcus are the ones that are the first, I guess, to be alerted.
Yes, you can't see it, Sol, because your perception did not really pick up anything.
Yep. Do I have an understanding of the direction that it was in?
Yeah, off towards the right. But
And it's
you
a screech,
can't specifically see it.
threatening.
Pardon?
It's a screech, yeah, it sounds threatening.
You can, if you're trying to determine the nature of the scream, you can make an insight roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for that.
Scarlet, what are you doing?
Ooh, lovely.
So Scarlet would sleep with weapons near her, but obviously not on her. So she would probably roll towards where she's left them all and grabbed it, and then come up to her feet and tried to determine where the noise is coming from.
And you do so almost in sync with Velendar. You guys just both kind of rise, weapons in hand, ready to go. I'll get Scarlet and Velendar to both make perception checks for me. You can do so at advantage because of the dancing lights. What was your insight roll, please, Sol?
I actually have an insight with this character. I never go inside. That is a 23.
You immediately understand that this scream isn't necessarily threatening. It more sounds like a scream of fear.
Cool. In which case, instinctively, I'm going to... How far away is Marcus from me?
You're both sitting by the cart, if not on it, so you'd be right next to each other.
Really close.
Really close.
I'll touch Marcus, being so close, and give him the reassurance of guidance, depending on what he
Oh,
does. And
okay.
if it's a the spell, I'm going to just like, if it's possible to do these two things in one turn. I think both would require an action, so tell me that first.
Tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you when it happens.
I'm going to pull out like a small circular orb and kind of like lob it in the direction of where the sound is, in a place that I know is open, and
Yeah, great. Okay.
within a 60-foot radius, and it's actually the cantrip, create bonfire.
Oh
As a
my
signal
god.
flame.
Okay. Great. Well, I guess we'll find out what happens with that very shortly. Marcus, you it doesn't take you but a moment. You knew the direction of this creature. The lights appear, and before you see a small blue kobold. He has a big piece of fabric wrapped around him, and he has outstretched in one hand a dagger, and he is looking in your direction quite frantically. Yeah, so that's what you see.
We don't need any weapons. We've got more than enough ourselves. That's jolly kind of you. If you do, oh look, we've got a portable bonfire. If you want to come and have something to eat with us, that would be marvelous. Come in you come. Stop the screaming. It wakes up the elf. You don't want to. Oh, here he comes. I can hear his silk rustling. And Marcus will kind of hop off the thing and then just kind of saunter, no weapons in his hand, towards it with his hands in his pocket, kind of whistling towards the shrieking figure.
Yeah,
come here,
great.
come towards the fire. That far.
He kind of, as you step forward, he steps back, and you can't quite make out what he's muttering under his breath, but you do hear him go, "Stay back." And you, Scarlet, and Velendar, as you approach now with all this commotion and watching out of seemingly nowhere as a bonfire is hurled throughout the air, and luckily does not hit the kobold. You see this kobold standing there, dagger in hand. You also saw as Marcus is approaching.
DM, I will get some of my friends to circle behind the kobolds and see if there's anyone else out there apart from this individual traveller. See if there's more.
Yeah, cool. You all see Marcus kind of mutter, but you don't see anything specifically aside from that. What you do see is this kobold starts waving around this dagger and just going, "No, they can't see me. Back off, back off, back off."
At this point, Marcus, digging into his pockets, encounters a bit of old bit of fleece and says, "That thing you're holding in your hand looks remarkably like it's a bit broken, and I will cast Minor Illusion on the dagger to make it look like it falls to pieces."
Cool.
Yeah, great. He looks at the dagger, and you see his bottom lip just tremble, and he drops the dagger immediately onto the ground, pulls this cloth tighter around him, and just starts to tremble a little bit. And you do hear him say, once again, "They can't see me, they can't see me, they can't see me, they can't see me."
You keep saying that, but I assure you, we can see you perfectly well.
Matter of fact, that bonfire is even lighting up your presence so much easier.
We've got soup I wouldn't advise the vegetables, but perhaps you want to come in and have a little bit of a conversation rather than the muttering to yourself. It's a it's a bit of a cool night, and it's probably going to rain. Yep.
You watch as this cloth is pulled off this this kobold. To all of you that aren't Marcus, this cloth is now hovering in the air, and you watch as the kobold jumps for it and grasps at it, and he says, "No, my cloak!" But as you look at it, it's not a cloak. It is literally, it looks like a raggedy piece of fabric.
Hovering in the air, as in actually escaping upwards, or just
around in general.
Okay. How high off the ground are we talking?
It would have gone up about 10 feet before making its way towards Marcus. And one of your friends, Marcus, will offer the piece of fabric to you.
Okay. I will get the over. It will be draped jauntily over one shoulder in a lovely shawl-like fashion in a casual kind of catch. And Marcus will continue strolling, hands in his pockets, towards the trembling, now unarmed and cloakless kobold.
And you watch as he sits on the ground,
yep.
Cross-legged, and he goes, "You broke it."
Science broke it. Science can repair it. I really don't know much about the science bit, but we've got Sol here that knows loads of things about science. You should come and have a chat with us before Velendar mysteriously appears somewhere. Ugh.
And Velendar mysteriously appears out of the shadows from behind the kobold.
Yeah, can you roll an intimidation check at advantage, please?
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's not very good. Intimidation. It is a 9, 10, 11.
Well, against my natural 1, the kobold like literally gets smaller and smaller and looks at you and goes, "Please don't eat me."
Why would we eat you?
Yeah, I don't imagine you taste very nice at all.
It'd be quite tough.
We've got a professional chef who prepares food. You don't look very tasty, and why don't you come here and I will try and wrap the cloak around the kobold, and with my massive amount of strength that I don't possess, gently try and get him to perambulate back towards Scarlet, who probably looks the most terrifying of us all.
He is, as soon as he gets that cloth around or close to him, you see he does ease a little bit as he holds onto it.
Okay.
And he does just kind of go with you at this point.
Kind of kick the dagger towards Velendar's shadowy form and kind of just swoop him towards back into the light. So
Velendar will like flip it up onto the toe of, well, he's in his PJs, so it'll just be his bare feet then, and he'll like just flip it up in the air and catch it.
So we missed your name.
Required, so.
Yeah.
We missed your name. I'm Marcus. That's Velendar. This is Sol. Sol's the one who's going to explain science to you in very, very, very excruciating details. But we missed your name. What was it?
My name's Grumbled, but they call me Grummy.
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 Grummy. Excellent. Yeah. So, and you're here for what purpose?
What do you want?
Well, I thought you were selling daggers, and you only have one, so that's clearly, you're not very good at this job. So, what else do you do?
No, I was hiding.
Again, you were selling daggers and hiding, and you don't seem to be good at either of those. Let me introduce you to Sol.
I'm not a tradesperson.
Aren't you? This is not a waypoint.
No, I was...
Grummy, Sol, Grummy. I need to deal with something. Sol, all yours. This is Grummy. Grummy doesn't understand science or trade, so I'll let you explain that. I'm off to put out the fire that you set inside the bonfire. Back in a moment, all. Sol, all yours.
Keep
Grummy.
My cloak.
nod towards Marcus. Perhaps the first more prudent question is, are you feeling threatened? Has something been chasing you that we need to be prepared for?
No.
And why are you acting in such a behavior?
Have you been out here by yourself at night? It's scary.
Do we look intimidating to you?
Yes.
Velendar's just like flipping one of the knives up and down in his head.
So about this time, Scarlet will sort of come forward and she'll bend a bit so she's actually on his level and not as threatening. And she'll just hold out her hand and say, "Why don't you come over and have some food while you tell us about it?"
Are you going to poison Grommy?
Nope.
Can I
You
have
can
my
choose
cloak?
what food you have out of my pack, so therefore you know that I haven't done anything to it.
Can I have my cloak?
Of course you can have your cloak.
Okay. I will eat. If you allow it, he will snatch the cloak and hold onto it very tight, like a security blanket.
Quite precious about that cloak.
Yeah, it's an invisibility cloak.
And Marcus had a quick look at the cloak just to see if there was anything interesting about it at all. Is it made of particular material? Does it have any embroidery in it? Is there anything that makes it particularly special, or literally is it just his safety blanket? It's safety
You
blanket.
can make an investigation check for me, please.
You
You can do so at advantage because you've held it.
I've caressed it repeatedly for the last
Yes,
30
yeah.
seconds.
You worn it as an accessory.
Yeah.
Deeply weird way. Okay, let's roll that and add in guidance. Oh, that was good because one was a natural 1, so that was always good. And that is an obscene 25.
It feels like terry toweling. It's quite uncomfortable to the touch. It doesn't have any special inlay or any embellishments of sorts. It, for all intents and purposes, it's not even a cloak. It looks like a literal raggedy piece of fabric that has been worn throughout time.
It doesn't belong to anybody. It doesn't seem out of place for a kobold to have this, basically.
It looks too big if it were to be worn as a cloak. But aside from that, it doesn't look like it outranks him or anything like that. It does just, it's suitable enough.
Okay, cool. Yep, I will carefully hand it back over to Grommy. And then saunter to put out the fire that Soul started randomly in the woods.
Yeah, which you do easily enough. Grommy will now wrap this cloak just on his shoulders, not around himself, and he will look towards Scarlet and say, "What's on the menu?"
Well, we do have some leftover dinner. It's probably not that hot anymore. Or I've got rations and stuff in my backpack. You can take your pick.
You got meat?
Yep.
I'll eat that. Thank you.
And he will take anything you offer, and he will start to devour it. Not even pausing to take a breath. He is just shoveling the food into his face.
Cloak of invisibility, you say?
Yeah, you couldn't see me.
We absolutely could. Could it be broken? Maybe.
I don't believe you.
Would you like to test it?
Put it on. And he holds out this dark grey fabric to you.
I am not going to allow that to touch my skin. You can put it on. We'll test it. We'll see if I can see you.
He looks at you all very suspiciously.
Give it to me.
And then he pulls And then he holds it straight back out to Marcus.
And I will go with a natty kind of. I think I'm gonna go with an off-the-shoulder kind of shawl look at this stage. Tuck it into the midriff. Is this now invisible? Can you not see my bagpipes hanging out?
And as you, like, out of nowhere, all look, nothing happens. He's completely visible. Grommy looks at you and he goes, you broke it. Or it just doesn't like you.
Grommy, how old are you?
That's a rude question. How old are you?
Well, I'm about 26.
I mentioned science. He's about science. He'll ask questions. It will seem intrusive and overly reaching, but he's doing it for your own benefit.
Well, I'm younger than you.
How much younger? Are we talking? Do I have an understanding of age with kobolds?
Yeah, kind of. They age.
Or something?
Yeah, go on.
They
Why
age.
not? The science
maybe.
man.
History's not my strong point. That's 15.
Yeah, cool. You know that they live for like 120 years. Or can, but like don't really. They don't usually make it that long. They have the ability to.
Are you younger than 10, Grommy?
No. I'm out here on my own. Who lets a 10-year-old walk out here by themselves?
Perhaps a 10-year-old with an imaginary and invisible blanket.
It's not a blanket. It's an invisibility cloak.
Call it what you want.
Why exactly, Grommy, are you and your invisibility cloak out here on your own?
Don't do those air quotes. I know what they mean. I found this. I was on my way to Kaivalya and I found it, and it said, invisibility cloak, do not touch. And I couldn't help myself. I wanted it.
Was there more attached to this cloak when you grabbed it?
Nope.
Grummy, have you ever thought someone was playing a practical joke?
You would play a joke on Grommy.
Where did you find the blanket?
I don't know. I might play a joke on Grommy.
Like, shit. Like 2 hours out of Kaivalya.
How far from our current location would that be, do we think?
You know that it was a 2.5, 3 day journey from where you were to get there, and this is the end of day one.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, Rummy, it's pretty late, and we've got watches to do as the sun comes up. Are you local to this area? Do you know it well?
I'm here and there. I mostly spend time over in Sadiva. But, I wanted to go to Kaivalya, so I'm there or on my way, but I couldn't get in.
Are you looking for gainful employment?
I'm looking for gems.
That's like gainful employment, but, with a slightly higher monetary value assigned to it. So I'm taking that as a yes. So we're currently a group of entrepreneurs, and we're looking for associates to help us out. I'll give you gems to buy stuff.
How many?
Well, let's put it this way. How many silver pieces are in a gold piece?
Why are you asking me? Why don't you ask the science man?
No, because I'm just seeing what you value. Because I could give you gems which are worthless, or I can give you something that has worth here. And I'd rather give you something that has worth than rather pretty stones. So I want your best interest and our best interest aligned. It's very simple, really. Science. You can go to us or
I
he'll
like-
explain it all.
I like pink stones.
Pink stones. Well, we can make pink stones come for you. But I'll tell you what, we'll do 2 better things for you. We'll give you some better board. And you can help us get to our next locale, which we'll explain afterward because we make sure this deal has been cemented. And you can come venturing with us. How's that?
Grommy the adventurer.
No, the entrepreneur. We're adventuring, but we're entrepreneurs. Remember, entrepreneurs. See the sign on the side of the wagon? Entrepreneurs.
Grommy the entrepreneur.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marvelous. And then
Do you want Grommy to keep watch?
no, I cast a side eye at base Velendar and Scarlet at this point in time and see the either I get an eye roll or a hard look from either of them at this stage.
Mostly indifference.
Yeah, that's good. Scarlet?
A little bit of an eye roll, but not as like a mother disapproving level eye roll.
No, is the threat of physical violence and you headbutting Marcus was more the kind of like no, okay, good. So you have you're good with I can see there's a natural rapport between the two of you. So if I hire him as an apprentice to you as a junior entrepreneur, how's that? Marvelous. Well, that seems a great idea, everybody, and I couldn't be happier. So entrepreneur, soul. There we go, done. I'm going to go and retrieve something from the woods. I'll be back in about a minute. Bye, everybody.
Do you need assistance with that?
No, I've got. I need to talk to myself for just a couple of minutes. I'll be fine.
It's a bit odd, but considering, okay.
And in Elvish, I'll be like, and Velendar will quite clear this. He's like, you two, stop that now. Stop it, put it down, put it back. Leave the dead rat alone. And just do that for a couple of minutes.
Grommy just stands there and looks at you all.
Well, do you want Grommy to keep watch?
All right, Grommy, if you're going to join us, you may as well.
Okay.
If you think I'm leaving that little thing with the safety of my life in its hands individually, you'd be very mistaken, Sol.
Great shout. Are we in the second half of our long rest?
Yeah, you and Marcus have actually had a long rest for all intents and purposes.
Right, okay. It's not necessary that you stay up. I can watch over.
Excellent. Valendar's already back in bed.
Just nice PJs, by the way.
Chilling out. Of course.
Was that silk?
Yeah. He does like a little flare.
All right.
I've had a terrible time keeping the trail dust off it.
Yeah, it'd be disgusting, actually. If you need me to clean them.
I will take you up on that offer. Absolutely.
Scarlet, how are you feeling?
Yeah, fine. I mean, I had a little bit of an extra rest before the first watch when we were in the car.
You going to stay up then, or you want to go back to sleep? It's up to you.
I can stay up. That's not a problem.
All right, then. I guess it's the three of us, unless Marcus wants to go back to bed. Or the four, sorry.
Do any of you have a dagger? Mine's broken.
Do you know how to swing one of those things around?
I've been traveling with the dagger for quite some time.
And have you ever used it?
Yes,
On what?
mostly meats and tough fruits and vegetables.
So to cut out a meal here or there, not actually to defend oneself.
Oh no, I've killed many people.
Oh, that's nice to know. Tell me about your favorite story.
Grommy's favorite story.
About killing someone. Obviously in self-defense, yes.
What? I don't know. I don't like these stories. They're a
You
little
don't?
bit scary.
It's okay. You didn't indulge in having to defend yourself.
How come your friend is traveling with winelings?
How come my friend is traveling with what?
Winelings.
Wildlings.
Is the science man
Velendar's,
not here?
Velendar's, I think, going to shoot up like in his bedroll at this point and just start paying a little bit more closer attention to the conversation.
No, like little fey creatures.
Are you talking about our friend Velendar?
No.
It's look,
You're just awake now.
yeah, he's awake now, and from the bedroll, talk to Marcus. He'll explain everything.
There you go. You have an answer.
Okay. Grommy will keep watch with no dagger and no hope to defend himself.
It's all right. You've got us.
Yeah. So around this time, Marcus comes sauntering back into camp with what appears to be a pronged stick.
Nice stick.
It's a magical stick. I'm glad you noticed it. I can see you can sense the arcane in such things. Now, these are forbidden in this land, but with my man of science here, gesturing your soul, he pointed me at stuff. And this stick is what you'll use to defend the camp if anything happens. Like so. And then I'll whack it against the side of that, and it makes a big resounding crack sound. This will wake us up. We don't want you as an entrepreneur to put yourself in any danger at the moment. More a warning system.
Out of interest, if this is the end of a long rest, can I use an infusion on the stick?
You may.
I'd like to infuse the stick, please.
I'd like to just talk about how nice the silk is, offer to wash it, and then infuse a stick.
There we go. So,
that's cool.
Look, Soul will tell you all about this stick. Now, is Scarlet still awake at this point in time?
Yep.
Damn it.
Why damn it?
Yeah, no, not at all. I was just going to randomly rename the Kobold, but you're around, so you get upset about these sort of things. Okay, well, we'll find out. So, Grimmy. Grimmy? Yes, that's right. So, Grimmy. Soul is going to take you through the entrepreneur stuff with the magical stick, and, remember, you see something. No, I'm going to give it to Soul first because he's going to take you through the process. I'm going to have what's called a sleep. Obviously, this is a probationary period of the first 3 days to see how you go through. But here's 2 silver to hold on to. Now, just remember, this is a trust relationship. And trust goes 2 ways.
He immediately pockets the silver and then looks at you and says, "Do you only have 2 winelings?"
You'd have to explain what a wineling is to this wider group, because I don't think they know what they are.
It's right there.
I'll get one in Elvish. I'll get the other one and say, Errol, if you could just nip his bum for me, please.
Yeah, so you watch, all of you see what looks to be this kobold is standing there, and then all of a sudden goes, "Ow! That's not very nice."
As an entrepreneur, we have trade secrets. So basically, we talk with interest and compassion to each other. We don't kind of point out the obvious at this point in time. So I'm going to have a bit of a snooze. And Saul's going to run you through how to be part of this entrepreneurial crew. So Lovely meeting you, Grimmy. Off to have another little bit of a nap. Toodles! And then climb back into the cabin or wherever our rug things are.
He's not very nice.
He whispers to you, Song, and to you, Scarlet.
He's so pleasant. He's trying to help you out.
Can I have a stick?
Sometimes people have things that they don't want other people to know about. And that could have been something that he didn't want us to know about.
Well, it seems pretty dangerous to just have some fey creatures traveling with a group of friends if they don't all know them.
Depends on what relationship he has with those fey creatures.
They do listen to him.
There could be a lot of trust there. It could be that he needs to learn to trust us more before he tells us.
How long have you all been traveling together?
A day.
Huh?
A day.
That's it?
Yep.
Ooh.
This is what I
Okay.
mean. Maybe he needs to know us more before he's comfortable telling us things like that.
Well, usually I've been told that you just tell the truth and then nothing bad happens.
Well, not telling us isn't exactly lying.
Interesting.
He's not saying something doesn't exist. He's just not telling us it's there.
Where are you all going?
Well, I mean, you'll find that out when we ask you to take us there.
Oh,
And he just sits down now, and he crosses his legs, and he drapes this blanket around himself, and just sits there looking out into the night. Is anyone else doing anything before you finish your long rest?
I will finish my what do they call not attunement, sorry.
Infusion.
Infusion on his stick, if that's possible.
Yep.
And I will give his stick, using my knife, which is probably already better than his stick, I would hope. I will sharpen it and infuse it with +1 to attack.
+1 stick.
For whatever benefit that is.
Great.
So,
Thank
in the
you.
hopes to make him feel more secure.
Do you present him with the stick?
Yeah, I guess after a while, I'll hand it over. I think it is a nice looking stick, it's a sharp looking stick. Might
Yeah,
be able to do
great.
some damage with it.
He holds onto the stick quite tightly.
Up to bare flesh.
Yeah, why not?
What do you think about this? Will this suffice?
Well, it's no dagger, but it will do the stabbing.
Well, I hope you don't need to use it, but it might surprise you.
Well, I hope I don't need to use it also, so maybe don't attack me.
Oh, are you still feeling uneasy with us?
A little bit.
We fed you. You're in warmth. You'll be safe tonight. You can
Yeah,
go.
but those other two, they're a bit sketchy.
They'll fine. They'll grow on you.
Well, I hope not. That sounds awfully uncomfortable.
Not in that manner. They're probably more interesting than myself, at least. They'll hold a good conversation.
I don't know. Why don't you tell me a story?
What would you like to know?
I don't know. You asked me a story before.
And you never told it. Perhaps you should start, since we're getting acquainted.
No, I asked you.
All right. Have you ever heard about the story of the 4 adventurers at the Cat's Bakery?
No.
It's a great story.
Who bakes? Okay, that sounds a bit unsettling to me.
Well, it partook in the establishment. Have you ever been to a big city?
Yes.
This Damata is not very big.
It's not very big. Have you been to a bigger city than that?
I've been to Agora. That's the biggest one you can go to in this, existence, I guess. I've never sailed off into the distance and looked for anything else, so.
And what were you doing there?
In Agora?
Yeah.
Doing what anyone in Agora does. You go in, you eat good food, and then you sleep the good food off, and then you eat more of it the next day.
Am I correct in thinking that we're like just not far from the farmland areas on the way to?
You've headed straight
Kaivalya?
up from Agora towards the Kaivalya mountain.
And would I know if there's many kobolds in this area?
I mean, it's kind of open travel at this point. So you would see any amount of races come through these paths. So far the road has been relatively quiet. But then it's not abnormal. They are not a less, built up race. You do see them about.
Yeah, okay.
But also worth noting, like, as all of you would know, Jamada as a whole, the predominant population is human. So anything that isn't is, a rarer sight.
Well, it would appear that you're more well-traveled than me. I've only ever left Sundus for the first time recently.
You're from Ascendus.
No, that's correct. Jaran.
Interesting. I wouldn't go there. It seems scary.
No, it's not all that bad.
I don't know. The rumors are that it's scary at the moment. It's all dark and dead.
Well, I can guarantee I'm not, so there's others like me there.
Well, I hope you weren't dead. That would make the situation incredibly awkward. Now, your story is quite interesting, but I have been tasked with protecting the people, and for that reason, I cannot talk to you anymore.
All right. Well, I guess you look that way and I'll look the other.
And Scarlet will just sit there and like.
Are you doing anything while you're watching that happen?
Well.
So, Grummy, if you want to have a sleep, you can.
Do you promise not to stab me?
Well, I don't carry a sharp thing. I carry a thing that, well, it's a bit more sort of like bludgeoning than stabbing. But if it makes you feel any better, you can like sleep in my bedroll and stuff.
Okay. But I'm sleeping with the stick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And he gets up, dusts himself off, takes his cloak, and heads to the free bedroll and lays down within it. You hear him snoring within like 2 minutes. He's out like a light. Yeah. Anyone else doing anything before you finish our long rest?
No, I'll stay up and do the watch with Grummy.
Beautiful. Well, Grummy's gone to bed, so it's you and Scarlet now. Scarlet and Sol, for the remainder of the night, can I get you to make 2 perception checks for me, please?
Yep. Perception.
10 for the first and 15 for the second.
It is 13 for the first, 15 for the second.
As you know, it's now getting to the later hours of the night and starting to tease into the early hours of morning. And as time passes, you know, the air does get cooler. And eventually you start to see the sun just peeking up over the horizon. And it paints the entire sky these red, pink, orange colors. And it's beautiful. But the rest of the night passes by pretty uneventfully. And you can all long rest. Yippee. But no level ups for anyone.
What?
See, we should have killed the kobold.
But we got the magical dagger and magical cloak. Surely that's enough, right?
That's a win.
As you awaken in the morning, or as you know, for those of you who stayed up on last watch, freshen yourselves up, you do smell burning, like fire. And you hear the sounds of metal and wood clamoring behind the cart. And as you peek around, you see that Grommy is actually cooking breakfast for all of you. You can smell more of the ash of the fire than the smell of burning food. But as he begins to serve everything up, it looks like he's created this like little potato hash stack that's like covered in all of these cute little herbs and spices. You actually, Scarlet, you see some of your rations broken up on top of these potato stacks. And he comes around and he hands them all out to you, or offers them all out to you. Grommy made breakfast.
Well, good to see you're making yourself useful. And Velendar will nom down on breakfast.
Yeah, it tastes pretty good. Like for what could be created on the road, it tastes pretty decent, and it doesn't taste rationy at all. It, you know, by the end of it, you feel pretty full. It feels nice. But Scarlet, you do dip into your rations bag, and you do find that there are 3 sets of rations that have now gone missing. Marcus, you awaken and you look over at where you would expect your winelings to be. And there is only one.
Whistle to it in Elvish, and where are the others?
You're asking the winelings?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. So the one that is nearby says left.
Pull out a rather tasty looking cherry and then just feed it.
Coming back though. Nom 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 down on the cherry.
There we go.
Those of you who can understand Sylvan can understand this also.
How can the kobold see you? Yeah, okay.
With wings?
Yeah, that's like okay, give it a bit of space. It seems to be finding its feet amongst there, and yeah, let's see how it goes. Anyway, breakfast has been made. The sun has come up. Time to set forward and ride the wagon thing again. Everybody pack up and do your ablutions. We're off in 10.
Great. And you do, is anyone doing anything before you start packing up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Velendar's just going to, like, throw his silk PJs at Sol after having donned his armor for the morning. There you go. Don't take too long.
How How do you throw them to me?
Just casually. It's not like an aggressive throw in your face. It'll just be you'll be doing some random camp life thing, and then all of a sudden they just thrust upon you
Thrust upon me.
through the air.
Do I look like your handmaiden?
Well, you offered.
I have hands. You could pass them to me.
You're all the way over there.
And you look like you have 2 good feet.
Well, thank you.
I shake my head and I'll pick them up. And I'll put them in my rucksack to clean them.
Ready? Gee up! And oh,
I will offer to Scarlet. What are you wearing actually?
Now,
Yeah.
basically what's in the character art. So it's like a leather cheerleader costume.
Yeah, because you did the fighting. If you'd like, I could make amendments to them. Make it a little bit more defense.
No, it's fine. I mean,
All
you're
right
just
then.
traveling on the road, and I mean, you've seen me. I can take a bit of a hit.
I'd prefer you not to, though.
I've never had anything amended before. I've only ever had basic stuff.
I mean, it wouldn't take me too long to make some adjustments, and it might not hurt so much next time you get a whack.
Okay.
Whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just offering.
Let me have a think about it. Just because yeah. I've never really thought about having anything done to the stuff that I've got. Like, it's kind of like a costume, for want of a better thing, for what I've been doing for the past sort of 12 months. So
I mean, I don't need to change the way it looks. I can just maybe add some extra padding here and there.
Hmm.
Maybe to your vitals.
let me have a think about what would actually be useful and come back with some ideas.
Yeah, have a think about it. If there is something you wanted me to change, I could do that too. But again, only if you're comfortable.
I'll have a think about it.
I have a
Yes,
feeling we'll be
definitely.
traveling together for a bit, and as I look out into the road, as I repack up my stuff and force the silk clothing into my pack, slippery. I
What?
expect we're going to meet some danger at some point. It's best we look after one another.
I don't know how much of it's going to be my realm of expertise versus how much of it will be their realm of expertise. And she'll just like point back to where the other two are and just be like, because they talk a lot better than I do.
If that's what you're concerned about, I must admit they talk a lot better than I do too. If you overheard, I haven't left my home for a long time. And I must admit my bedside's not the greatest.
I mean, I was trained to speak one way and unlearned it all in the past 12 months because I didn't want to be that.
I guess be what you want to be, as long as it makes you happy.
Well, and that's the point. I've traveled pretty much all over, and I'm much happier now than I was then.
You'll have to tell me more about it along the way.
Oh, there are some awesome places out there. But I tell you what, don't fall for the usual tourist traps when you go into places. There are so many like hidden back alley gems and stuff like that that you can find. Like, just, yeah. If you have a particular place you want to go, I can tell you some little out of the main road places that you might want to drop into while you're there.
The one place that my uncle used to speak about a lot used to be Maluhia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've heard it's a bit of a wild place to go.
Oh,
They're
that
allowed.
kind of suits me, really, doesn't it?
Sorry,
That kind of suits me, though, doesn't it?
it surely does.
But yeah, like when the time comes, I can give you some places to drop in on while you're there. A good tavern here and there, a nice breakfast stall, things like that.
Wow. No, it sounds good. You have to tell me more later.
And with that, you pack everything up and make your way off for the second day of your journey. For this, I will get everyone to roll a survival check. We're going to do 3 of these each, please. So for your first one, please.
Do you want my proficiency added, or do you want to know that I rolled a nat 1?
I believe that D&D Beyond adds your proficiency automatically, but yeah, still let me know with your modifier, even though it wasn't that one.
That'll be a 5 for the first one for me.
Yeah, cool. Chris?
18 for Scarlet.
Bam.
Lovely. And the last 2?
11 for my first.
Okay, great.
And quite clearly distracted by Soul 6.
Yeah, cool. So basically what happens is Sol looks determined. You notice that at some point he does actually pull out the silk robe. And immediately as soon as he pulls it out, he trips over the silk and, falls over. You don't take any points of damage, but you do stumble and then immediately stuff the silk back in. It is definitely dirtier than when you handed it off, Velendar.
That's right. I rolled a 2 on whether or not I saw that. So
Beautiful.
amazing.
You don't. But you do, Marcus, and it distracts you to the point that you almost walk in an overhanging branch. You duck at the last minute, but it does almost take you out. The rest of you, it does begin to start becoming less open and more tree cover. The Kaivalya mountains are getting closer to you, obviously, as time passes. But overall, the first part of your journey is relatively uneventful. Can I get the second survival check from all of you, please? You are muted, Ben.
Is it possible for me to do something at the second part, if this is a long
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
I'll pull out a balm and use prestidigitation on the silk clothes.
Yeah, great. And they
when I get in the tree.
are perfect. They're beautiful. And you feel free to roll perception to see whether you would see that also, Velendar. Everyone else's survival, please.
7.
I know these lands. I can get a sense of them, and with a nat 20, that takes me to 24.
Ooh.
Actually, 28.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ooh,
28.
28.
Jesus.
And Scarlet?
4.
Okay,
I
great.
can't
It all
top that,
balances itself out.
but I got a 17.
Okay, great. You are continue on your journey, all traveling well. Marcus, as you continue on your path, and the terrain starts to become a little bit more rocky, you do hear out of the left-hand side the sound of what comes to you as a woman crying, and just weeping, but you cannot see her.
Okay. So 2 things occur. Is Velendar just lounging in the back of the wagon as per normal?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And in Elvish, I will say to your left, Velendar, you may have an opportunity sooner rather than later. A weeping woman. How far is Scarlet and Soul from me?
You would all be traversing quite close together. So, yeah, someone would be driving the cart. For all intents and purposes, that can be Vigmund, who is very boring this entire trip.
Okay.
And every now and again just speaks about different forms of pastries and concoctions that he's working on.
Not just boring this trip, but like it's been boring since the beginning. Really.
That's right, yes.
I'm so sorry, Ida. It's not true.
Savage when he's not here to fucking defend himself.
That's right.
Vicious mockery.
He does at one point admit to you, Velendar, that the arse buns were a concoction he knew about. And he chuckles to himself about it.
Scarlet, coming up on our left is a very unusual sound. There's a woman weeping somewhere. How thick is the wood around here, Emily?
It's not super thick. You can see through it. So you can still see if you peer through the trees. You can still see. It's not dense. You can see at least 10 feet through these trees.
I think Velendar will have jumped out of the cart at Marcus pointing that out to him.
Yeah. And I will have Errol flutter off with Velendar just to give him an extra set of eyes and say, hey, help Velendar out. And then I'm assuming Soul's busy scrubbing away in the background and washing. You may want to put those down for the moment, dear chap. I believe we may have an opportunity for an encounter. And I'll move slightly away from Soul as he's sniffing Velendar's night garments.
They smell clean.
Yeah, they smell like whatever your prestidigitation makes them smell like.
Clean.
Clean.
Just clean.
Yeah.
But you would also notice at this point, Marcus, that one of your other winelings has returned. So there are two. But the third...
Okay, that's fine. So we'll I mean, hey, the little minxies tend to get around, but I'll send one off with Velendar, and I'll have the other one just land just on top of the wagon and keep an eye on our little new companion, and keep an eye out. And then, so I'm watching for the wailing, given basically just seeing what Scarlet's doing, and kind of curious about the sniffing Soul at this point in time. It's like, oh, okay.
I'll pack the clothes back in my rucksack and heed Marcus's words.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, remind me, DM.
Yes.
With one of these things then at my shoulder high, these creatures are invisible, right?
For the most part, yes, unless they choose to be seen.
Yeah, okay. Is that like a collective seeing then, or is it just an individual who it'd be everyone, yeah. Yeah, okay. So is Velendar then aware that the wineling's with him, or is this like a sneaky sidekick situation, Marcus?
It would perch itself on your shoulder if you allow.
Get off! Do not scratch this jacket.
It then hovers above your shoulder. You would feel more than anything just kind of the momentum of something fluttering nearby you.
Yeah, okay, brilliant.
I'll get you, since you're kind of looking around with this wineling nearby, I'll get you to make a perception check, and please note that you have guidance. Thank you to Marcus.
Incredible. Thanks for the guidance. That's really, really helpful. That's a 9.
A 9.
Yeah, being distracted by the irritating, fluttering fey friend at his shoulder.
So you wouldn't, as you're looking around, you are looking for a woman that is crying. You don't spot anyone, but you do hear as you continue on, the sound is getting louder
and it is definitely coming from the left hand side as you're walking through. You can't pinpoint the exact place that it is coming from, but that is a direction. At this point, Marcus, one of your windlings that was sent to sit on top of the cart would come back, and it would whisper in your ear that there is a cave over to your left-hand side off the path.
Right. So, cave over there. Velendar, to your left, left again, and left one. Cave. It's a cave.
Welcome, Raiders.
Hi, Raiders.
Realm of Rust, thank you so much for the raid. Thanks for joining us. This is I would say brand new, but it's in its 3rd month now, technically. But this is a brand new campaign. This is Echoes of Divinity. My name is Emily. I am the Dungeon Master this evening, and I'm joined by some incredible creators. We've got Tolera79, who is one of our mods, who is also doing some amazing Vampire the Masquerade stuff at the moment. Just a generally good human. Then we've got Promethean from the OzQuest channel, and also Variety Gamer over on his stream, and Dungeon Master also. And then we've got Deetwenty, who is Commissioner of Hands, is Crasher of One Shots, Troll of Chats, and again, wonderful person. And then we've got Ben, who is part of the Fate Script crew. We stream a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, so welcome. Hope you stick around. If you don't, then thanks for stopping by. We will jump back in, however, to the cave that you have just been alerted to, with the sound of a weeping woman coming from it that your windling Marcus has spotted.
Yeah. I would say to Smithy, the windling, Smithy, if you could just, let Errol know to tell Velendar cave. That'd be great.
You did shout it out though, yeah.
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 But just in case you missed it, because I can't see you. You're so elven with your shadowiness, and even though you're over there, it doesn't make a difference. Shadowiness, trying to give you that illusion of self.
Magnificent.
Yeah, and then just
Errol does whisper to you, cave, Velendar, but you also all hear this. Scarlet and Sol, you also hear this.
Now, Sol, did you want me to stay here with you guys? Or I can just follow Velendar, let him get far enough ahead to do his sneaky elf stuff, and then I can sort of follow him behind in case he needs reinforcements. Or do you want me to stay here with you guys, just in case?
It's just me and Grummy and Marcus, yeah?
And Vigmund?
Great. I love that we're all calling Grummy now. That's amazing.
It's Grummy!
Grummy.
It is Grummy.
I mean, if you think you've got this, then yeah, go ahead. But
oh no, I'm just going to put the parking brake on and let and just let our halfling chef look after it. We should all go there. I've always been fascinated with nature.
fair enough. Bigmund, you're out with this?
I'd love to. Bigora, I'm an halfling. There we go.
Pastry.
Yeah, pastries.
Yeah, that's exactly what Wigman says. Grommy does pull out the infused stick that he was given, and he does say, "Is this where we fight?"
Not quite, but as an apprentice, you should come and watch at the least. But maybe you should stay here.
Grommy will fight alongside friends.
Maybe let us handle this one.
We need someone to stay and defend the cart.
And also Vigmund.
Yeah, him too.
Grommy can defend the cart?
Yeah, Vigmund's a friend. And so are the horses.
You two do
Okay.
a lot of like
Romy
cooking.
will defend.
You two can talk about herbs and spices and all that stuff.
Perfect. What are we doing? We all making our way over?
Yes, so we've seen our elf do the stealth thing. So I will, as Marcus, try to emulate that badly, and then kind of zip to tree to tree.
Okay, can I get a stealth check from the stealthy buggers, please?
Sure.
Poor Velendar's trying so hard, only to be foiled.
Oh no, he's barely trying, but he doesn't need to try overly hard.
Scarlet suggested we give him some room before we started to follow.
Yeah, I'd be hanging back with Scarlet. I'd actually be probably letting Scarlet take the lead, so when she feels comfortable to move forward, I just head forward with her.
Cool. Your stealth checks, Promethean and Marcus, please.
16.
16.
Oof.
Okay.
26.
Velendar, you're used to being stealthy, and you make your way towards the cave without getting too close to it. And the sound of the woman weeping does get louder, and it does seem to be coming from inside the cave.
Mhm.
You can see that it is risen slightly, so you do have to go up on a slight mound to get to this cave. You can see darkness within it. You can't see anything past the mouth of the cave. And you look around almost expecting to see Marcus comically
Tiptoeing through the forest.
tiptoeing through. But when you look around, you don't actually see him immediately. And instead, he's like keeping up. He's keeping up with you. And not only that, you didn't notice him. It's kind of impressive.
It is kind of impressive. And normally Velendar would have no problem sending Marcus into danger first. But seeing as how he's doing such a good job of being stealthy, he'll whisper to Errol then in Elvish. Do you want to head on into the cave there and see if you can establish what we might be walking into?
Errol, for all intents and purposes, disappears from your side. You no longer feel that fluttering.
Mm-hmm.
And Errol is gone. Scarlet and Sol, what are you two doing at this point?
So this is basically where Scarlet would sort of start going up slowly. So also listening to see whether or not we have to start moving more urgently or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. You don't feel like there is any more of a sense of urgency. But you too hear the sounds of this woman get louder. Scarlet, you specifically, I'll get you to make another perception roll for me, please.
Can I give her guidance?
Yeah, go for it. You see that Scarlet is
I'm waiting for her to take the lead, so once I see her moving forward and doing whatever it is, I'll pop up.
So even with guidance,
oh no,
got a whole 3.
beautiful.
I got a 2 on the D20 and a 1 on the D4.
One on the, yeah.
It's weird because you thought you knew the direction of this woman crying, and now all of a sudden it feels like it's coming from behind you. It's incredibly strange. Moments later, you feel this fluttering beside you, Velendar, and the wineling whispers to you, "Can't see what it is. Big and bad. Loud crying.
Okay.
Screeching noise.
Only one, though?
Only one."
Okay. See if you can find Marcus and maybe the others and fill them in. Actually, just stick with Marcus. The others don't really know that you're here properly yet. They're aware that you exist, but I don't think anyone's explained your existence to them.
You don't get a response, but once again, the fluttering sensation is gone. And Marcus, for all intents and purposes, that is repeated to you.
Can Marcus see where both Scarlet and Soul are, the two S's?
Yeah, you'd be able to. They are being, they're hanging back a little bit. They are still not necessarily trying to stand out in the opens, but they're not, in full stealth mode, so you can see them.
Okay. We'll see if Velendar's going to actually move into the cave area, and if he starts making a direction, I will make the hurry up kind of gesture to Scarlet and Soul.
Beauty.
What are you doing, Velendar?
So Velendar will see that then. I'm just going to hold a hand up. Hold a hand up. And once again, then he's going to cast Dancing Lights, but he's going to combine the lights to make a humanoid form and kind of send it into the cave.
Yeah, great. You all watch as these balls of dancing lights all form into one kind of humanoid shape as much as they can. And it looks pretty cool. And it moves in, it doesn't have the grace to make a walking gesture, but it does kind of move in like a person shape into the mouth of the cave. And the first thing that you notice, Velendar, is that this cave, it looks like it goes down slightly. So whilst you're up to enter, there is a incline. It doesn't look like it's too steep to get into it, but you do see the light hit the top of the cave, and you would estimate, based on what you're looking at, that the mouth of this cave is at least 10-15 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
The sound of this woman weeping do not stop, but you do very faintly hear the screech of what sounds like a bird of sorts.
Okay. So I think Velendar then will just kind of poke into the entrance enough to see that decline a little. And so he'll send, only lasts for a minute, so he'll send these lights in as deep into the cave as he can. And then he's going to pull them back to the cave mouth. Kind of like a lure, just to see what might pay attention and come out of the cave after the lights.
Cool. What are the rest of you doing?
So given the hand signals that were so expertly used by Marcus, Scarlet will make her way over to where Marcus is and just pause there until further signal is given.
Cool. Sol?
In which case, yeah, I'd follow as well.
Cool. So you are all kind of hanging back that little bit while Velendar is heading into the mouth of the cave. You watch as these lights enter through the mouth of the cave, and as you look down this incline, Velendar, you see a small box, wooden box. It's just sitting there in the center of the cave. And the sounds of this woman weeping are just almost, you have to almost cover your ears now that you are standing in the mouth of the cave. But you don't see anything else, just this box. And as you pull the lights back, you do lose sight of this box. And a couple of moments pass, and all you can hear is this weeping. And then you hear the thud, thud, thud of what sounds like heavy footfalls. And the screech of a loud bird-like creature greets you as walking towards you. You would see a young owlbear making its way towards the mouth of the cave. And we're going to take a 10-minute break there, if that's
Incredible.
okay. So we'll take a 10-minute break. Huh? We will come back in 10 minutes and we will see what these wonderful human beings decide, and Drow and Kobold, and what they decide to do. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Magic.
Hey, bam, bam, bam. Welcome
So-
back.
So if we let the owlbear eat the kobold, do we get the XP from the kobold as well, or?
I guess you'll have to find out. We're actually not going to recap from the break this time. We're just going to go straight in. Let's go. Speaking of the kobold, Grommy, the blue kobold, is standing by the cart and has not followed any of you. Velendar, as you are standing at the mouth of this cave and an owlbear is approaching you, what are you all doing?
Is it approaching me or approaching the lights coming out of the cave?
Sorry, approaching the mouth of the cave.
Okay. Velendar is going to just kind of try and find somewhere on the outside of the cave mouth just to kind of hide
Mm-hmm.
from that.
You do so. You do so easy enough.
Yeah, excellent.
Marcus puts a.
And I'll get you.
Sorry, you do,
Sorry.
Karen. Thank you.
Get you to make a stealth check for me, please, Velendar.
Sure. Yeah, that's much better. Thank you. That's going to be a 27.
Boom.
Yeah, okay. You feel sufficiently hidden. You kind of like tucked behind a boulder, essentially. As this owlbear does continue to approach the mouth of the cave. Marcus, what were you doing?
Marcus puts a finger to an ear, points at Velendar, and says, I don't know if you've seen, old chap, but there appears to be a large bear that looks like an owl coming towards you. Is it going to eat you? You can reply to this message.
Velendar will deal with that happening. Well, I feel like I can hide enough to not get eaten. Send a wineling in for the box.
You're going to do that, or are you telling Marcus that? Sorry.
Telling Marcus that, yeah.
Marcus leans back to Solon Scarlet and says, I think Velendar's going to try and be tricky and entice it out of here. Are we looking to combat this fearsome beast? Because it's pretty big. I mean, it's got claws and feathers and claws and a beak.
That doesn't mean it's bad, though. Different doesn't mean bad.
Things that want to eat me, I tend to see as bad. And this is a wild animal. It's not like, a circus pet. Anyway, Velendar wants me to send one of my tiny friends in to do something. It's not going to work, but I'll tell him that a bit later on. Are we going to hide a little bit more, or
Why is Avenger even approaching the creature?
right?
Because we could just get him and go. We don't have to go into the cave.
Well, it's coming out of the cave towards us, I think. It can probably smell us with its owl-like smelling abilities.
Or is it going after that set of lights that's near the mouth of the cave?
I mean, who wouldn't?
With a natural 20, the owlbear approaches the edge of the cave, and you all watch as it sniffs quite loudly into the air, and out of nowhere you hear a loud crunching noise with a smattering of blue, almost translucent liquid, and the sound of chewing as this owlbear munches down on one of the windlings that has attempted to pass. At
see
this
it.
point,
Errol.
I'm gonna get you all to roll initiative, please.
Was it Errol or was it one of the other ones?
I believe it was Errol.
No!
I'm sorry, Dee, but I'm not. Fuck your windlings.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Have a whining about it?
Can I get initiative rolls of 25 to 20, please?
Not that.
Okay, can I get 15 to 20, please? Great. Oh no. Can I just get your initiative rolls then, please?
Sure, 8.
Great. 5. Awesome.
12!
Ben, you're muted. Sorry.
5 as well.
5 as well. So we got 2 5s, an 8, and a
12.
Okay. So Marcus.
So it's the
Velendar.
that didn't know anything about these little creatures that just saw something happen, and basically I have this vision of Scarlet and Soul being, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Errol!
Absolutely. Soul and Scarlet. Who has the higher dex, please?
I'm on 0.
Mine's +2.
Yeah, okay. So you would go first, Scarlet. Cool. Okay. So as this owlbear has just devoured a windling, it does actually go at the top of the round, and it takes a big sniff, and it does actually see you, Velendar. Because you are behind this boulder, you are considered half cover, which is lovely for you. But as it stomps out big loud thuds as it makes its way toward you, it is going to attempt to claw attack you.
Amazing.
And does a 17 hit?
It will.
Yeah, good.
Put my armor back on as well. Let me double check that. Yeah, it will.
Lucky for you, it is only... Yeah, okay. It is only 5 points of damage. As it reaches out to claw straight at your chest, and it kind of just nicks your shoulder. But it lets out a loud screeching noise as it looks at you. That's all it can do. Marcus, you're up.
How far are we from the... So Velendar's obviously in toe-to-toe with this thing, but how far are the rest of us from the owlbear and the cave mouth deer?
Yeah, you're 15 feet away.
Okay. So...
Not even, actually. You'd be closer. You'd be more 7 to 10.
Okay. So Marcus pulls out a drumstick and then starts tapping it against the side of his leg in an irregular beat, and then whips up his left hand, and it almost seems as if this kind of weird kind of greeny violet light descends on a 20-foot radius, covering the owlbear and all behind it as he drops fairy fire around the space.
Oh, lovely.
So if you can make a saving throw, or if you can fail a saving throw, please, of 13 would be wonderful. Otherwise, I've just wasted a lot of glitter.
Yeah, no, that definitely fails.
Okay.
Definitely fails.
So currently, all attacks against this are advantage. and if it is, it can't be invisible anymore. And with that, Marcus goes, "You've got this, Velendar," and then takes a tactical retreat around a tree because this thing's bloody huge, right? How big is this massive, monstrous, corrupted owlbear?
It is considered large, but it is slightly
Yep. No.
smaller than the average owlbear.
All I heard is large, and it's got beak and just clawed Velendar. So I will
Cool.
find a tree and tactfully use the tree as much cover as possible. You've got this, Velendar! And yes, retreat out of its distance. Yeah. So cast it and then move to... If the cage is straight in front of me and Velendar's to my left, I will move to my right and get to the other side of the cave.
Beautiful. And you do so easy enough with no issue. You do find also half cover behind a tree.
And bonus action. Sorry, gun.
No, I was going to say you feel secure there for now.
Okay. And that's it for the moment. Thank you.
Beautiful. Velendar, speaking of, after just having this claw dig its way into your shoulder, what would you like to do?
This is not Velendar's kind of fight, so he's not loving this. He's going to use a bonus action to disengage and just kind of back away from the creature a little bit and burn an action to take some of the fern berries that that were stolen from the garden in the last session.
The ones you fed to the rats, yeah?
Yeah, and he's just going to slice one open on one of his daggers as he's kind of backing up away from this thing, and just starts smearing this juice all over one of these daggers.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you do so easy enough, and it cannot attack of opportunity you. So you feel quite secure right now.
But far too close.
Still too close. It is big, so it's looking down at you, and you do feel quite uncomfortable. You're used to hiding in the shadows.
Agreed.
Scarlet, you are up.
So, she's only been traveling with this party for, not too long, but she bonded with Velendar, and he's been struck, and there is the risk that they will continue to strike the other people in the party that she doesn't deem as capable as her for various reasons. So she will rage, funnily enough, given that she's a barbarian. She will rage. So the way her rage will present this time, though, is she'll take on, a battle stance. She's a barbarian. But instead of her face getting angry, like what Sol has seen before, it actually goes very calm and cold. She'll let out this battle cry, and when her voice hits the air around her body will start to shimmer, like there's some rays of light sort of bending and refracting off her body as if it's giving off heat. And her eyes will start to flicker with light, and then her body will start to look like it's vibrating, and there will be two female warriors that will emerge from her that look like Amazonian warriors with wings, and they will pull themselves either side of her and also take up the battle stance as well.
Hell yeah. And there is this iridescence to the air around Scarlet that just is like it. For a moment, you all catch sight of it, and just for that split second, you lose sight of the owlbear because this is just such a phenomenal sight. And then snap back into the fact that you're fighting an owlbear. What are you doing, Scarlet?
She will run forward and she will smash this owlbear.
Yeah, go for it. Make your attack rolls.
And you watch. Now I'll roll really bad after all that.
Remember to do so at advantage also.
Yeah, 17.
17 hits. Make your damage.
Okay. so I rolled really crap, but it's okay because it's still 11.
11. Okay, yeah, you watch as in retaliation, this owlbear, you hear it make a cry of pain, and you watch as its gaze turns to focus on you. Is there anything else that you're doing?
So that's it at the moment because that's the action and bonus action. But now it has to focus its attacks on her.
That's true. Thank you for that. Soul, you're up, buddy.
All right, so we're going in on this thing.
Almost said something, but you know.
We did. You straight out said you were going to smash it.
Yeah.
So what I might save that. I'll pull out my pouch and I'm going to. How big is the creature?
It's big. It's considered a large creature.
Chunky.
I'm looking to. Would you
So
say it's
chunky boy.
5 foot or 10 foot in diameter? If it had to take up space.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
What are you trying to do?
I'm going to pull out a jar and I'm going to just lob it at it. And this would be for actual in game. It's grease.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. It needs to make
I
a
would be
saving
within
throw.
60
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Remind me, it needs to make a saving throw for this.
That would be a dex save of 14, which I don't think would be too hard
for anyone in that area, including me, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would with the.
I assume you would attempt to angle it in a way that it does not hit.
Yeah. That's why I was asking how large it was to see if I could just soak it specifically in grease.
Yeah, cool. I'll get you to make a straight dex for that, if that's okay. If there's not some sort of an attack roll for it.
Don't miss.
Just to see where it lands more than anything. You will get it. It's about whether you'll get the others.
Dex.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. Okay. No, you manage to angle your throw in such a way that it does not get Scarlet. It hits more of the rear side of the owlbear's immediate area. It does, however, make a save of 16.
Right.
So do with that what you will. It's considered hard terrain. Is that right? Difficult terrain?
It's another point within the range of the creature. It's difficult. Yeah, difficult terrain for the duration.
Cool. Is there anything else that you're doing?
That would be my action. Bonus actions. No. That's all I can do.
Cool. At the start of the round, the owlbear focuses all of its attention. For a moment, Marcus, it was gazing at you, and then Scarlet made her way through with this incredible spectacle, and it will. It is actually going to try and multi-attack you. So it is going to do a beak and a claw attack against you, Scarlet. The first one will be a 20 to hit.
Hits.
I assume that hits. Yeah, cool. This is its beak. It comes straight down towards your shoulder for 7 points of damage. And then reaches out and attempts to claw you with its claws. However, I assume an 8 doesn't hit, and it just comes too wide and straight past you. You feel the air from its claw as it glares down at you. You can feel like the hotness of its breath. It is incredibly unsettling. And that will be its go.
I presume that 7 wasn't already halved?
No, that's the full amount. So
That's right.
7 halved. You'll just take 3. Before your turn, Marcus, you all hear the sounds
of Grommy the Kobold running through with his stick, and he's like, "I will protect the cart." And you watch as he runs out.
Me.
He looks at this owlbear, and for a moment you all see fear in his face. And he throws the stick that you provided him straight at the owlbear, and he will attempt to hit it.
He's running advantage, DM.
Oh yeah, advantage, yeah. Okay, the first one was way better. He will actually hit it. A +1 stick, great. Do it. Yeah.
It's a good stick.
Yeah.
Might
He
have
will
been
hit
out
it for 9 points of damage.
Nice.
What profile you got? Stick.
Yeah. Hey, I'm the DM here. Don't fucking question me,
Yeah,
boy.
that's true.
And he looks at you and he's like,
Holy shit, Grommy.
Marcus, it's your turn. That was max damage that I could physically roll.
Okay. Looking mildly confused at the Kobold's heroic and possibly suicidal attack on that one. So is the owlbear still staying in a giant pile of grease? You know, highly flammable grease on the side of a hill next to a cave. Okay, good. Is the crying still going on, DM?
Yes, but not as loudly as you would have heard before.
Okay.
Mostly due to this owlbear making all of this noise and Grommy screaming that he's going to defend the cart and Scarlet's war cry.
Looking at the scene, looking at Velendar is like, are you going to stab him?
Velendar will nod.
Right, okay. With that, Marcus says, bish bosh, let's go. You can do it, guy. And that's a bardic inspiration in the worst possible way. D6.
Yeah, beautiful.
No, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be there. It's not his way to do things. And then turns around to Saul and says, "Can you cast that bonfire thing on it again and burn it alive? Because this isn't going well." And that's me there. And DM, could you generously roll me a D12, please, and tell me what I get?
A D12.
D12, please.
A 12.
12. Fabulous. Okay, I will with my table until this. That is it. So Marcus will boldly continue to offer, thoughts and prayers to the rest of the party at this point while hiding behind a rock.
Just starts praying.
Well, it's like, it's inspiring leadership from there. It's like, go on, deal with it. And then that's it. Back to Velendar.
Yeah, Velendar, you are up.
Incredible.
As you hear all these thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
And questions.
We love thoughts and prayers. So Velendar will, from his kind of brace of daggers on his chest, then just pull a second one in addition to the thing that he's got. How are we going to do this? So we've got one coated with the fernberry juice. He's going to. Oh god, this is so stupid.
I love that you just named it a fernberry.
Hey, no,
great.
you totally named it a fernberry. That's it's in my inventory as that, so I'm blaming you.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. He's noticing that it's kind of distracted then by Scarlet's existence, and these awesome looking Amazonian figures that have been summoned with her. He's going to run in at the owlbear and just attack it, essentially. Using it as a sneak attack, because we've got allies then up in the owlbear's grill. But he's actually gonna do a running kind of slide onto the grease underneath it and try and just like in the exposed underbelly underneath
Yeah.
slides through with the buried up dagger, just like slice at its underbelly. And
Yeah,
hopefully you've got
cool.
enough momentum to come out the other side without
Yeah,
being
great.
crushed.
So roll the hit, but also roll. Yeah, we'll make it an athletics for me, please. I'm sure you're great at that.
Are you sure you don't want it to be
Oh,
acrobatics
acrobatics.
instead?
Yeah, let's do
maybe?
acrobatics.
Oh, thanks. That's wonderful.
I got there before you even fully asked. So
Amazing. So 14 on the
intention.
acrobatics.
Yeah, great.
And to hit is going to be a dirty 20.
You're running advantage
Yeah,
just in
you
case.
absolutely. Roll.
Okay, to hit then is going to be a dirty 25.
Yeah, great. Yeah, you hit it for sure. Do your stabby damage.
Okay, so 7 damage, and I think it's 2d6 sneak attack. Let me just double check. Yeah. So 13 damage all up.
Okay.
And whatever effect the firm berries may or may not have in whatever amount of time it takes for that to occur.
Yeah, cool. And you all watch. It's incredibly impressive. You watch as Velendar runs up and does this almost power slide underneath the owlbear, and you watch as this dagger embeds itself inside the underbelly of the owlbear, and he slides out the other side completely unscathed. The knees might be a little bit sore tomorrow, but you did it with finesse, and that's what matters. Do you have a bonus action at all that you would like to use?
I do, and that'll just be a straight crack with the other dagger then.
Yeah, go for it. Roll the hit. And make sure you do that also with advantage.
Nat 20.
Yeah. Okay,
Jesus.
beautiful. Do your damage.
Good work.
That's only going to be 5 damage for that one, though.
Yeah, okay. It looks very hurt. And it for a moment rears up slightly on its back legs and comes back down with a loud thud. It does not look happy, but it does still keep its gaze on Scarlet. Whose turn it is? Scarlet, what are you doing?
So not to be outdone, and Velendar having pulled a move here, she's basically, and I'm letting the audience know that I have discussed this with Emily, as long as I'm not changing mechanics, I can parkour. She's basically going
This is a prior discussion.
She's basically going to sort of push up off one foot, use the other to push off the boulder that Velendar had been hiding behind, and then actually use it to come down with them all on top of the owlbear.
Yeah, sick. Roll the hit. Fuck.
17.
Yeah, cool. Was that an advantage?
Yes, sadly. I'm not.
Yeah, cool. Do your damage.
6 plus 12 damage.
Scarlet, how will you finish this owlbear off?
So after coming down and smashing, and the owlbear sort of falls to the ground, her eyes will start to glow, and she'll let loose another battle cry, but this time it's not really audible. It's like it's piercing your mind a bit. And you realize it's almost like hundreds of voices all crying at once, this single victory cry. And blazing white wings will unfurl from her back, and she will shoot up into the sky, and just as you realize where she was, she'll shoot back down, her foot smashing through the head of the owlbear.
Hell fucking yes. Velendar, you are literally, as you are sliding out from underneath this owlbear and you just clear it, you watch all of this happen literally before your eyes. The rest of you see this also. Grommy just his jaw almost hits the floor as this owlbear crashes against the ground, unmoving. What are you all doing?
Oh man, I didn't even get to light it on fire.
Well, first Marcus is picking his jaw off the floor. I mean, that's not something you see every day. It's like, I mean, Velendar, obviously marvelous, but the angel thing in there, that's kind of spectacular.
When she snaps out of it, the wings have gone, the women have gone, and she's acting like nothing was different.
Okay.
Scarlet, you have wings?
No, I don't.
We just saw you fly. And
No, I don't have wings. Humans don't have wings. What are you talking about?
I didn't imagine this, right? And Velendar will look over to Sol and Marcus. You saw that, yes?
I think I would have been behind Scarlet, and I'd just be like shrug, like, "What the fuck's going on there?"
Brommy goes a pale blue and just hits the deck, like unconscious.
We'll get to that in a moment, but is the crying still going on?
Oh yeah, you can still hear this weeping noise.
That's horrific. That was amazing. We should really find out what that voice is, I should imagine.
Shouldn't we check on the kobold?
He'll be fine, he's resting. It's
alive?
It's a defensive mechanism.
He's just passed out. I don't know if he's alive or not.
Go over and prod him with. Take out the stick from the owlbear, like that, and then go and prod him. Grammy, wake up!
And so
He does wake up.
While Marcus is over dealing with the kobold, Scarlet will sort of like go up and sort of check Velendar over, and you'll feel this sort of warmth from her hands, and she'll heal you 5 hit points.
Oh, magic. Thank you. If
Literally.
If you want to do that with those 2 women that you brought into the fight at any time, feel free. I'm here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just checking your wounds.
They appear to be completely healed, so you've checked well. Thank you.
Okay.
Grammy's alive. See, absolutely fine. Good work, Grammy. Back to the wagon. Here's the stick. Excellent work.
That's stick work.
Grommy just grabs a stick and nods at you all, and he runs straight.
I'll
back
give him
to
a
the
feather
car.
on the way past, or whatever stuck on the stick that he lanced the owlbear with. He's like, here, take this.
Yeah, and he does, and he just legs it towards the cart. You hear Vigman yell out, "Good job, everybody!"
Pastries.
You don't get
Sure,
any of the
have some food ready
XP. Give it all to the kobold. It'll level up before you do. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Do we go and investigate this wailing woman at this point in time?
That seems like a good idea.
Sol, just checking, is like not knowing much about your science stuff, is there things that you're going to want from this, like claws or whatever?
Great shout. Yeah. Is there anything on the body that's worthwhile? Some
Of the
owlbear
owlbear?
feathers or claws or eyes?
Every organ.
Yeah,
That
you know that they all exist.
may be
if
used
you
for
were,
medicinal reasons.
yeah, if you were wanting to harvest them, the feathers are easy enough to pluck with some force. But if you're wanting to take a claw or anything further, you'd have to
before
spend some time.
Yeah, before I go about actually carving this beast up, I'd maybe intelligence check, see if my previous mentor mentioned anything about owlbear regrants.
Well, what we can do is we
That'd
can
be
check
useful.
out the voice, but it just means that I grab this on the way back and take it back to the cart, and you can take your time with it.
Sounds fair.
Yeah, we can get our wonderful halfling cook to bring this up, like clean up on aisle 3 when we're off.
It does feel like a whole camp night to take care of this beast.
Should we,
This is henceforth.
Velendar, if you'd care to do whatever that is.
Dance?
Well, yes, into the cave. Excellent choice.
Why is he having to dance into the cave?
It's
I won't be
dramatic.
Dancing into the cave.
Okay.
But he does head off towards the cave and will cast dancing lights to kind of light the way in.
Marcus will kind of prance behind him then.
Yeah. You make your way in, and those dancing lights do benefit the cave. And you actually see that the cave, as you make your way through, as you approach this wooden box, it does actually end. There's a small nest of branches and twigs and, various, you see the bones of snacks that an owlbear would have devoured at some point or another. But nothing else. The cave does just end there. Nothing but this wooden box in front of you.
Okay. So I guess Velendar will try and locate the source then of the crying.
As you look down at this box, it seems to be coming from the box itself.
Well, that is very odd. And he'll just kind of poke the box then with a toe before doing anything else.
As you poke it, the lid of the box does open, and the wailing gets much louder, and it is just crying. It is sadness. You do kind of have to cover your ears slightly just with how loud it is. As you look down at the box, make a perception check for me, please.
Sure.
You can do it at advantage, actually, because of the dancing lights.
Ooh. Well, that's heaps better. 21.
Yeah, cool. You see you can't exactly make out what the words say, but you can see that there is a gold written inscription on the inside of the box. It actually has these mechanisms that move around almost like the insides of a music box. So these two kind of cogs that are spinning around consistently. You can't see what's powering them, but they are just spinning over and over again. You do also see inside the box a small ring.
Velendar will pocket the ring immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus, this looks like something you might be interested in.
Stuffing things into his ears to stop the wailing, because I'm assuming it's still going, DM. Two things. As Marcus makes his way in, he'd like to investigate to see if this is a sole inhabitant of this domestic environment in the first place.
Cool. And you may investigate at advantage because of the dancing lights also.
Thank you so much. Because, if this is some sort of, Owlbear Airbnb and someone's going to turn up shortly, not kind of keen on that.
Yeah, it's at 3 o'clock. It's going to be fine.
That's 23, DM.
Yeah, cool. As you make your way and you survey the cave, you don't see any signs of another owlbear inhabitant. You don't see like an egg. You don't see when you're looking at this nest of twigs, it looks like it's indented with only one body that has been sleeping.
I'll nudge Velendar and say, look, it's a single nester. And then I will take out my, dig into my bag and pull out a kind of weird pair of glasses. Can I read the language on the thing, or is it a different language, DM?
It's in common.
Oh, well, that's a deep shame.
It's in common.
I look at it and go, this is a complicated language. It says...
Are you picking it up, or are you just looking
I'm
down
just
at
looking at it at this stage.
So as you look down at it, you would see that it is inscribed, and it says, I capture moments and memories, fleeting as they may pass. Play them forever play them forever and onwards, just so they will last.
Okay. Somebody has created a rhyme in a box, and it's terrifying. And with that, Marcus kind of fishes around in one of the many pouches he's got, and then kind of pulls out what looks like a kind of weird shaping notebook and flips open. And he does that. I cast Detect Magic. Is the box magical?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it is magical, and you detect that immediately. There is a source of magic coming straight from within this box. Weirdly, though, you can't detect what type of school of magic it is. You can, however, detect that it is pinpointed on the mechanisms themselves that are consistently turning like two cogs. It is not powered mechanically or battery operated or anything. This is like a magical powered box.
This seems to replay the last emotion put into it. Fascinating stuff. Close the lid and shove in my bag.
Can you be emotionally quiet by any chance and make it play that?
Well, that's what I was going to try with the Kobold and kind of pick up the box and close it, because what could possibly go wrong, right?
Can you just remind me, what did you say as you closed the box?
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, so over and over and over again until it goes deep within your bag, you hear, what could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
Stick in the bag. This is fascinating.
This is a recording, is it?
It would seem so, yes.
And but we're also to understand that, well, I don't know about myself, that it's magical in nature. Is that right?
You would not know unless mine is shared.
So depending where the rest of the group is, like, this is a magical box. Look, and I'll open up again and say, na 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 na, hey hey hey, and then close the lid.
Yeah, and you all hear da na 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 da na 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 over and over and over again on repeat. Until it makes its way into the bag, in which it becomes muffled and you can no longer hear it.
And can we loot the rest of the nest? Is there anything else that's noteworthy?
You can all make an investigation check if you are wanting to attempt to find anything.
There could have been something on prior victims.
Ooh.
We've got a Kobold to pay. Enterprises.
22.
22. Raise your hand if you rolled above a 16.
No, not me.
Scarlet's not looting.
We're not
Cool.
looting either. We're
Then,
investigating with purpose.
That's right.
Marcus and Velendar, you would approach the nest and you would see that there are two humanoid skeletons. You would also see that of a halfling skeleton. But inside the nest, you would find what looks to be almost like a pocket watch. Just hanging there, necklace style pocket watch. It is closed. Or pocket compass, more like it.
Sure.
Does seem mundane in nature. You find two daggers, one of which is quite rusted and does look quite brittle. And you would also find, your standard blood and nastiness from some murdering that's happened in here by Beak of Owlbear.
Okay. But no kind of clothing or any other kind of personal items.
You would find clothing that has been almost torn to shreds. It is not wearable in nature.
I'm just sorry. I was trying to guess. Sorry, go on. You're going
No, go. That's it.
I was trying to work out if the victims were kind of locals or travellers, effectively.
Yeah, and it's easy enough to determine these clothes that have been torn mostly appear to be travellers like cloaks. More than anything, thick as if traveling through cold temperament, in like a heavy brown fabric.
I will briefly appraise the pocket compass and have a look at it and see if there's anything interesting.
As you open it, it looks like it has some initials in there and a small engraving that says, "Stay safe, love you," in it, and the initials JS. But aside from that, it seems to be just like any other compass.
Tragically ironic.
And Velendar will take the non-rusty dagger and stick that into his brace of daggers.
You may add a dagger to inventory.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Grab a couple of owlbear feathers and then go and see what Sol's doing, hacking up the body outside, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
I mean, harvesting. For science.
For science.
Yeah. Do I understand if there's any important ingredients that I can get from an owlbear?
You know that owlbears are not the most common creature in these parts. They are, and you don't want to see them. They're not a nice creature to come across. In terms of things that you could brew or create, nothing that you or your mentor have specifically done, but you do know that with a rarity of a creature, there is a likelihood that there are things to learn from, specifically, the feathers, etc., of this creature.
The blood, the intestines, the spleen.
Yeah. The brain, the heart, the beak.
Oh, so basically everything.
But,
Within reason.
who's to say that that's not other, creatures?
With the downtime I have, I'll grab whatever I can. So I'm assuming just feathers.
Cool.
And
I will let you know via message what you get.
And maybe an owlbear claw.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So-
Easy enough.
Do you realise in Ladria we have a local name for such creatures?
I did not know.
I believe in common they're called owlbears, but in Ladria they're Elberts.
Albert. How has it gotten this name?
Many. It's a long story, and as you're disemboweling this creature, I'm happy to regale you with the long and very painful way of when the first explorers discovered such a creature. It was someone called Albert, and literally that was his last name. And it's been appended to the creature's first time because anybody sees it, we scream and run in a different direction. But Albert failed to do that.
Oh, well, if I can concoct a potion out of this, maybe I should call it the Albert potion.
Take a couple of feathers,
Great.
put them in my hat, look at the claws, look at the size of my face, kind of back away from it for a bit.
Vigmund does start to wave over to you and say, "Are we going?"
We are. We have Vigmund, and I'll open the box and say, Vigmund, what was your first thought when you saw this encounter?
Big.
I'm going to amuse myself through the rest of this, just capturing the sentiments the party have. Big.
Beautiful. And as you all make your way back onto the cart for the rest of the journey for this day, the rest of it goes by pretty uneventfully, as does the rest that follows.
One of us heal up Scarlet, who took a bit of a beating at one point in time?
Yeah, I'll if possible, I'll put some ointments and bandages on her.
Yeah.
Which will look like. I do have this feature here, feet.
Here, have a poultice.
Yeah, 1d6 plus 4
Are you
HP
guys
if you
saying
want to roll.
Scarlet took a beating?
A beaking.
Or
Did Scarlet take a beaking? I didn't think Scarlet got hit at all.
Yeah, no, she
Oh.
got hit with the beak, but it's
understand.
literally, when you look at how much she lost, it's basically just a scratch.
So
Oh,
a
jeez.
flesh wound.
Flesh wound.
10 HP.
Oh, that's like
She's fine.
over 3 times what she lost.
Yeah, bam.
Yeah.
And all healed and feeling a little bit, rougher for wear, but better. You all managed to get a long rest relatively uneventfully, which you may do so.
After a long rest, I can make an experimental elixir,
Yeah, go for it.
and I will use the ingredients, which I think you might want to message me later, of what I've
We'll
just gathered.
discuss this off screen.
Yeah.
Great.
And that's all I can do for now, I think.
Beautiful. Does anyone else need to prepare anything before the final day of travel?
No, I'm just curious to see if the infused stick becomes a stick of stickiness.
Well, yeah, is it
Stickiness.
a temporary effect, the infusion, or is it permanent?
Great shout. First time.
First time artificer here.
Yeah, first time I'm learning a lot in one
While
Guys,
Ben's,
this
while
is
Ben's
my first
checking on
time.
that, while Ben's checking on that, I think Velendar will try and convince Gromlet to hand over the stick so that he can kind of look it over.
Which he, being absolutely terrified of all of you, particularly you, will do with no issue.
Yeah, incredible. And in which case, then he'll take the rusty dagger that they found in the cave, and he's just gonna
It stays indefinitely.
use
So, you know.
excellent.
Yeah.
So he's just gonna tie this rusty dagger onto the end of this infused stick with a bit of leather binding and hand it back.
Beautiful. He looks concerned at the fact that you thought of this, but yeah, takes it and is quite grateful. And he gives you kind of a half bow as he looks at you.
My business is death, and this will help you wield it much better. You did good today.
Grommy protected the people that could be responsible for his death or keeping him alive.
Velendar's probably already turned away halfway through that response.
And
Where are we going? He yells out after all of you.
Shh, I'm composing something from Errol.
Huh? Sorry?
Marcus has been carefully composing a sonnet about Errol, and then kind of gave up halfway through and just basically gave Smithy double rations just to hopefully, inspire him through the rest of the day.
Oh.
Yeah,
Did he come up with a limerick? There was a one called Errol, who was a terrible fellow. I'll get to the rest of it in a bit.
Have we set up camp, or we just kind of?
I assume you would be doing similar to the night before, which is pretty much sleeping within the cart. For all intents and purposes, the rest does come easy, and nothing interrupts your evening. The sun rises the next day, and once again, Grommy has prepared a lovely breakfast for all of you. This time, it appears to be some sort of a, it looks like a berry style oatmeal. And he presents it all out to you. Promethean, may I get you to make a perception check, please?
Certainly. That's a 11.
Yeah, okay. You feel lighter today as you put your belongings on. just slightly lighter. And as you look over at this berry-like oatmeal, instinctively you check where you would have put those firm fruits, and you are missing one.
Incredible.
He does offer you all a bowl of this fruit oatmeal.
One of the berries has gone missing. It may have gone into the food. I don't know that we'd actually want to eat it. It looks delicious, obviously, but it's also potentially highly poisonous.
Breakfast is off. On to rations.
I did borrow a fruit.
Please don't do that ever again.
I was just trying to make breakfast.
How about in the future you ask us? Scarlet,
What did you say, Sol? And Scarlet? Whoever wants to go first.
Scarlet was just like, not his bag. Take from my bag, that's fine. Or Vigman has food.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Vigman, what do you... This Kobold's been trying to do some good meals with what he has. Have you got anything for us?
Vigman produces a box of pastries that none of which look like arse buns, luckily, but does in fact offer them all around to all of you. Is there anything anyone wants to do before you head off for the day?
Address the group. There once was a wineling called Errol, who wasn't a terrible fellow. He went into a cave, was terribly brave, and that was the end of Errol. A moment of Errol silence.
Grommy starts to clap and then hits the deck and is unmoving.
Sol, if you could just do your
I could, yes. And I'll check him. I can make a medicine check to see if his pulse is still going.
I would assist.
Yeah, go for it.
I think he might have eaten some of the breakfast.
Oh, 19. 23.
He does have a pulse. He is breathing, but you can't see like the rise and fall of his chest. You just know that he is alive.
Does he have a fever or?
No.
He's just unconscious.
Paralyzed in much the same way as the rats were. I think Velendar then might take out his poisonous kit and see if he can concoct some kind of antidote for this berry situation.
Yeah, sure. Make a medicine check. Make sure you add your proficiency bonus to this one.
Sure.
That's how we're going to do this.
Okay. It's a 12.
I don't.
With your proficiency bonus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, like, do I see him trying to use the berries?
Who?
Velendar.
Yeah, I think he'd use like the tiniest little bit of, I guess probably the last remaining berry then juice, as part of the antidote, possibly.
And you don't need to use much, to be honest. More than anything, you know, in your experience, you just almost nick a small round of it off and crush it within this antidote. And for all intents and purposes, it feels like you've created an antidote.
Wonderful.
I hate that word. It feels like you've created an antidote.
Yeah. Velendar will kind of grab some kind of stick then and just poke it into the kobold's kind of mouth a bit and swish it around on the inside.
Yeah, he does not move. And you know that based on these rats and how this poison did affect them, it took about 2.5 hours for them to stop moving completely.
Mhm.
So this would have had to be in Grommy's system for what you can imagine, at least that amount of time. You do put this antidote within his mouth. You are very confident that it has been ingested. As it stands immediately, there is no reaction. But in your experience with antidotes, that's not necessarily uncommon. It can take time.
I've done all I can, or alternatively, he'll die faster. And Velendar will go have a munch on some pastries for breakfast then instead.
Do you have any respect for life at all?
So, you know what I respect?
Could you ask our
Gravity.
cat that?
I respect gravity.
You laughing?
I do.
Just buggy, yes.
Yeah.
I have a great deal of respect for life. It's no small thing to take it.
That's not just what I saw. And I'll double check the kobold.
He's still breathing.
And
He's still
in which
warm to the
case,
touch.
I guess only
His
because
pulse
he's
is there.
taken a double tap of whatever the berry is, I will take out a potion.
You are also aware that, like, you watched Velendar pull out his poisonous kit and craft something. It wasn't like he just gave him more poison.
I wouldn't have been aware what he.
Yeah, you don't know what it is, but, you know, he did say, oh, he is hoping that it helps or he'll die faster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so you
well,
would have seen him like add from little vials to the berry itself. So it's and as an artificer, I don't know, maybe you might kind of be aware of this kind of thing, but it would seem like he's trying to change the properties
Makeup.
of the thing. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to roll for that, or?
No, you've done all of your experiments in medicine before. You are quite good with the healthy, sciencey stuff. You're not sure of Velendar's intentions, but you know what he's said and what he's done.
Yeah, only because the last comment, I will use a cure wounds.
Yeah, cool. He seems like it seems like it takes effect. He, however, does not move.
8 points of healing, if that matters. Doesn't sound
Cool.
like it, and I'll just wait.
Is
You
it
don't know.
worthwhile keeping this? Because if it renders people unconscious, that's quite useful, isn't it? The breakfast.
It's being turned into porridge. It'll spoil very quickly. Feel free to keep it, but I do not want that in any of my gear at all.
Would have been helpful for the owlbear. Moving on. Okay, we'll kind of just like, we'll have the chef because he's usually proficient with food to do that. And again, I'm sure that go well for him. You look after that for us. We're off. We'll put Ginny in the back of the wagon.
Yeah, sure. And he lays there, you know, still unconscious, still unmoving. But Sol, you check on him every now and again, and he still continues to breathe, and still continues to feel. He is colder now, but he is still warm, as if there is life within him. And that continues for the next 2, 3, 4 hours.
If we're traveling for that longer period of time, I will approach Velendar. I'm slightly confused. What were you trying to discern from that?
Trying to create some kind of antidote to the poison's effects.
I mean, if that's something that you're wishing to do, next time you try to extract from the, it's a berry, yeah. Sorry, DM question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I could help you with that.
In what way?
Well, dividing potentially the damage or the antidote of what it is that you're trying to do.
I'll consider it.
This could be helpful. And I must admit, I didn't know that you would dabble in antidotes. That might have been a slight on me.
Please, it's hardly dabbling, and normally an antidote to a poison isn't exactly my field of expertise. But it does
I guessed right then.
come in handy. It's useful.
I'll keep that in mind next time.
Scarlet,
Yeah.
I'm a little bit confused. These berries were suffusing the palace and all these root vegetables. Now, I'm not an agriculturalist in any way, shape, or form, but normally you don't have that around a large populace where you can potentially poison everybody. You met this woman beforehand, the not princess. Any sense of why they'd have anything lying around in such large quantities and free access to, poison an entire population?
Well, I mean, the area isn't easily accessible by people. You have to have permission of the royal family to be in there where they were growing.
I find people like cats, they spring up in the most unusual places and then cause chaos just randomly around.
I mean, from what I understand of Rayella, she's someone who does work behind the scenes a bit more. So perhaps she, like our other elven friend here, has a particular personal hobby that would use such things, or perhaps the royal family trades in it.
It does seem rather peculiar, though, don't you think? We're after something that's also now a hallucinogenic in the wine that sets off visions. Now, if poor our little kobold friend recovers, hopefully suitably, I wonder if he's had any visions in any way, shape, or form. Curious. Well, the rats couldn't tell us, but I'm curious if this one is. Anyway, the just a little bit odd, I thought. I just wondered if you had any particular insight.
I think these berries are the substance that we're on the track of.
I don't. I feel these are different from that. Otherwise, this would be a very simple thing. We'd all be much richer at this stage because we're now going off to find the source of these other berries. But it just seems curious that agriculture here seems to be a level of toxicity that normally wouldn't subscribe to a general populace being so close. But again, odd.
I promise you, there is deadly, toxic poisons on the roadside everywhere you go. It's just that you're not necessarily aware of them. And you don't often consume weeds, for example.
I spent my lot of time at student residences, and I'd strongly suggest that toxins in bars, restaurants, and weeds were smoked quite frequently, just as part of the culture. So, yeah, but this seems a bit different, I would say, because you don't normally get that state of unconsciousness. Now, if they did, the student unions would probably be a lot more successful. Just look at him, and I'd give that the kobold a little poke on his foot. Any movement? Is there any kind of like normal, when you're asleep, Emily, or there you can scratch someone's foot and their foot kind of twitches a bit? Any kind of movement at all?
None.
See, this is almost total unconsciousness to the point of being rendered so. And from like a small berry, because how much did it eat, Velendar?
Did we say one of the berries was missing?
Yeah.
This is one or less. And diluted in the porridge.
Never really thought of porridge as an accelerant or something would enhance poisons. Good to know. We'll be avoiding porridge from now on. never liked oats and squash and stuff. Well, you're doing a great work, Sol.
Look, I can do everything I can.
I'm sure Jimmy here will be really happy when he comes back to life.
Well, I'm interested to see how long the effects are going to last. Like you said, if this is only small berry, and remind me, how much of this do we actually have?
Ooh, great question.
So
You had a few of them.
it could also be that, you know, you breed particular strains and then you sort of use that to cross and concentrate things. They could have actually been doing effectively an agricultural experiment to try and intensify the paralytic effect, which would require growing things on a bigger scale to be able to, you know, enhance certain effects. And that's, I don't know, I'm not really, that's more his thing than mine, but, you know, as someone who has a little bit of a knowledge of merchant backgrounds, I do know that there are people who do that with crops and stuff.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Sol, I have one of these left. I'm starting to think I should have taken more.
Potentially.
Oh, we'll get back there soon. Right, well, Figment, onward.
You do. You make your way out, continuing along. You pretty uneventfully start to see those Kaivalyan mountains get closer and closer and closer until you would say that you're only about an hour or so out of from the border of Kaivalya. Can I get you all to make a perception check, please?
Hmm.
14.
About 13.
Yeah, my perception's been awful. 9.
16.
Yeah, okay. So as you are approaching and getting closer, and you know, the day has passed pretty uneventfully for you. So the brush does become less, and you are kind of approaching more rocky-based terrain. It is starting to feel like everything's just slightly inclined as well. The grass is still, you know, scattered amongst these rocks and paths as you make your way through. It is still ember after all, and for that reason, everything around is still quite fruitful in the way of nature, if that makes sense. And you're approaching what looks to be the first kind of pass towards these mountains, and you look over to your left, right, all seems fine. You can see the wall approaching in the distance as well. It is a large wall that that outskirts Kaivalya. Can I get a marching order?
Sure.
So I was driving the
the
wagon at this stage. So so Marcus is on the front thing.
I'd imagine I would have been in the back with Grummy.
Mm-hmm.
Just checking him every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlet would have been wherever basically Marcus wanted her to be. So if he wanted her in front of the wagon, she'd be there. If he wanted her sort of beside or further back, given he's the one that's sort of driving it at the moment.
Well, given Vigman's just kind of hanging off the back doing whatever weird things is there, again, I would imagine that our wonderful elven friend is just kind of kicking back. Yeah.
Well, if we're going through a mountain pass, it's probably not going to be the most super comfortable ride in the cart itself. So you might be like standing on the back of it.
And I guess have Scarlet next to on the shotgun.
Sweet. You are making your way through, and out of nowhere, you feel this jolt, all of you. And you, Velendar, as someone that's hanging off the back of the cart, you like feel this force against yourself, and you really have to hold on tight to stop yourself from falling off the cart as it tilts one way, and one of the wheels has almost completely splintered underneath the cart. What are you all doing?
Did we get a spare wheel when we
You did.
bought the car? We absolutely did, right? We thought of
You
this.
absolutely did.
Yeah, okay. Velendar is not going to do anything. He's going to wait back and wait for someone else to fix the problem.
Marcus call out the blue novice, and it's like, Scarlet, I think we've broken a wheel. And I get off. I'll put the horses in park. Stay. And then
they do.
And then kind of put my hands on my hips, look down.
Are you meeting with Marcus, Scarlet?
So Scarlet will actually hold up the cart so that it's like, okay, I'll hold this up off the ground if someone wants to take the wheel off and put the other one on.
I'll go for that.
Yeah. Marcus kind of just takes off his leather doublet from there and shows absolutely no muscle toning whatsoever at this stage, and then hangs the jacket up very carefully, and then offers assistance to Sol, mainly verbal. Left a bit, right a bit, left and right a bit, up, down, 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 forward, back, right there.
Do I get advantage?
No. You can make a. So you are grabbing the spare wheel, and Scarlet.
It's a big wheel, right? It's a cart wheel.
Yeah, it's a big wheel. So you make your way to the back. Scarlet, you lift this cart. You can make a strength check at advantage for me.
Watch for roll crap.
I'm going to guide myself.
You're going to guide yourself.
I feel guided by Marcus.
That would be a 16.
Yeah, cool. It's a struggle. You don't think you can hold it at the height that it would need to be, but you do manage to, particularly because Vigmund is still sitting in the back, Grommy's in the back, Velendar is not moved, so is also
he won't be on the cart. He will have gotten off.
Okay, great. Yeah. I was going to say you asked.
He's not contributing to the repair efforts, but he's not.
Can I
jerk about it?
Do I see this? The weight that the other two are still on the cart?
You do, but you are so encompassed by this wheel that you are like, it's which is the biggest struggle. Yeah. And as you manage to figure out, Sol, because you are smart enough to do so, that you don't have to lift the wheel. You can just push it along the ground, and you do so. And as you make your way to the side of the cart and start to line up the wheel, you and Marcus both in a flash, almost like you don't know how it happened this quickly, both feel cold steel blades pressed against the back of your throat. And you feel an arm grasp around each of your chests. Velendar, Vigmund, and Scarlet, you all notice this pretty quickly. And as you look out into the remaining brush around you, you see 3 others with notched arrows pointed directly in your direction. The person behind you, Sol, says in your ear, and you can smell this hot, like putrid smelling breath as they ask you to empty your pockets. But we're actually going to leave the session there for this evening.
Can I say
Yay!
we have some porridge?
Yeah, sure. And that's what happens when none of you perceive something. Hey, thanks for tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys, and also our viewers and raiders for waiting so long for this episode. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
But before we wrap up for the evening, and we're going to keep it super brief tonight because I'm conscious of our interstate friends that are approaching midnight at the moment. Let's figure out who we're playing with tonight. Tammy, do you want to kick us off?
My name is Talera79. I have been playing Scarlet, the potentially human barbarian. And it has been fun to finally break that part out with Emily's really worried face.
Yeah. Apparently she didn't expect you to be having fun, so
No.
There's some muting going on.
I guess that's a problem. Yeah, okay, cool. You just need to talk about yourself infinitely now, Talera. Continuously.
Sorry, my headphones decided to just completely disconnect from the computer and connect to my phone instead. And for that reason, I couldn't hear anyone, which was great. But I could hear the stream, which was, that's awesome. Thank you, Tammy. I did hear your entire thing. You're going to be somewhere this week, right?
Well, I will be at PAX.
That's what I thought.
Yes. I'm not on any panels. This will be my first PAX ever, so I'm actually going as a complete newbie to enjoy everything.
How exciting, though!
Because we were predominantly, Hamish was asked if he wanted to run some stuff. It's like, no, we actually just want to go and participate as consumers.
Hell yeah!
For our first time.
That's what you want.
That's right.
Hamish is going as well.
Yep,
cool.
And we're already booking brunches. We've got like every night taken, parts of days taken, and now we're getting into brunches with meeting up with people. So yeah, we'll be running around, probably tired because we're old, but yeah.
Okay, well, I won't be taking that slander, but yeah, sure.
Like a fine
wine. D20, who are you? What do you do?
Hello! Ignore what I do. So Meeples and Dragons, some of our other wonderful sponsors here. A whole bunch of other people will be at PAX. I will make a fleeting appearance on Friday if the fates align and people are super unfortunate to do that. So if any of you wonderful folks are kicking around on Friday, it'd be lovely to see you then. Otherwise, I'm an ethereal voice on the internet, which doesn't really exist. So I'm a random concoction of your brains. Back to you, Emily.
Let's go over to Ben. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, hopefully I do a better job at this time. My name is Ben. I am a part of Fate's Grip. We are a D&D session that plays at 6:45 every Tuesday. We are in the midst of Campaign 2. You can check us out there, or YouTube as well. We have everything up there if you would like to see that. I play a character named Hood.
I like how you had to think about it.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least.
Yeah.
Promethean with the 0.
Oh, hey, it's me, Promethean with the 0. That's who I am, and you'll find me as that everywhere, including here on the Fates Group channel from time to time, my channel, the Meeples and Dragons channel, and OzQuest. And also at PAX Oz next week, and in a particular place and time at PAX Oz on Saturday night, 6 p.m. in the Drop Bear Theatre. with
Oh, good.
another familiar face here. Emily will be there. That's going to be amazing. Kate O'Sullivan is running a little thing, which is going to include, the two of us and GFD and MVCDM. And it's going to be a hell of a good time, and I absolutely cannot wait.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And last but
Also
definitely
Red,
least,
sorry. I forgot Red is also there.
yeah, and Red. My name is Emily. I am the DM for this evening, but just a player on Tuesdays and a player over on the OzQuest channel. It has been wonderful hanging out with everyone tonight. We are going to raid a channel called the Eldritch Scribe, who are doing some world building at the moment. So please stick around for the raid, send them some love. And until then, I'll see you guys at PAX. How exciting!
See you, PAX.
Love that film. Yay! Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Until next time.
Good night.